Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. I'm Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the executive minister. Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ plus community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is a justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ plus community.
I am Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Minister of Education. The Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community. Let's explore the big news of the day and what it means to you.
I am Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, the Minister of Connections. This is live, and then we are available on demand. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform and social media.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we're here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Justice Sotomayor warns recent Supreme Court ruling threatens same-sex marriage equality. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor has all the right things to say about the recent ruling by her conservative colleagues, which asserts that American citizens do not have the right to have their foreign spouses admitted to the United States. She has cautioned that the ruling will disproportionately affect same-sex couples. She also suggested that this decision might foreshadow a potential future reversal of federal LGBTQ plus marriage equality. In the Department of State v. Muñoz case, the justices ruled that Sandra Muñoz, a civil rights attorney and U.S. citizen, does not have a fundamental liberty interest in her non-citizen spouse being admitted to the country. In her dissent, Sotomayor referenced Obergefell v. Hodges, the 2015 landmark ruling that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, emphasizing that the right to marry is fundamental as a matter of history and tradition. Justice Sotomayor argued her conservative colleagues were making the same fatal error as Dobbs v. Jackson, Women's Health Organization, by demanding too precise a description of the asserted fundamental liberty interest. She rightfully noted that the burden of the ruling will fall most heavily on same-sex couples and others who, due to legal or financial constraints, cannot start a family in the non-citizen spouse's country of origin. This is, these are 9 people with law degrees and, experience or whatever, and they're supposed to be the experts of jurisprudence. But this just seems so needlessly cruel. The mail order bride, is as old a tradition as the country itself. How some people would try to escape bad situations is they would just try to marry up. And how lonely people, maybe out in the West or whatever, who didn't get to meet a lot of people, they would work it out, which was not any worse than rich families deciding who their kids, rich families would marry into and all that. There's all these ways of meeting people. But once you are a unit, once you are a family, you are. Doesn't matter if you met in the personals or through a friend or whatever, or on vacation. So this idea that you have to meet people in a certain way, meet people in all kinds of ways. Mm-hmm. But once you're together, you're together. And that bond, I think, is sacred. So if there's no guarantee that you fall in love, you get married, before now, that just meant you could move to, and now they're, and I think it's twofold. I think it is meant to actually hurt gay people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it is meant to slow down the influx of people from brown and black countries.
Yeah.
So this is racist, this is xenophobic, this is homophobic, and it's just unfair. Maybe I married someone just because I was lonely. Or maybe I married someone because I was desperate and needed to marry up. But now we're together. And you've formed a bond. And who gets to judge that? So I don't know. I'm not a legal expert. I'm just glad that Justice Sotomayor is speaking up for those who are going to be hurt by this. This is a pretty scary time. And I've said that for years now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be getting less scary. That every right, we have to fight to keep. We've actually lost some.
Yeah.
Now we lost a few. I mean, we the Voter Rights Act gutted. The right to choose at a federal level destroyed, gone. Bodily autonomy gone. Now you aren't even guaranteed the right to have your spouse with you if your spouse just happened to be from another place. What's next? There will be next.
There will be.
When bodily autonomy was just basically destroyed, I said, this isn't
Right.
people who are interested in this, you need to be, because it doesn't stop here. It never stops. First of all, I hope you're passionate about a woman owning her own body, but even if you're not, are you passionate about them coming for gay folks? Are you passionate about coming for immigrants? Are they passionate about coming for marriages that there's a geographical boundary for? So if y'all aren't passionate about anything that's happening yet, you need to try to be, because you might be next. And if you're not next, you're certainly on the list.
Couple of quick points. I have been since the 70s telling people that you need to pay attention to the folks that you elect, because the president that you elect selects the Supreme Court. And this is since the 70s. I've been telling folks that the real power in America revolves more around the court than almost anything else, because they are able to take what they call settled law and turn it into something else.
Unsettle it.
They will tear it apart. And we have to understand that the Federalist Society had a plan. They started their plan, I'm saying, sometime in the 1980s, where they said that they are going to revamp the way the world looks at things, the way the United States looks at things. And they were very patient. They would take a setback every now and again, but they knew that if they got the right person in the White House at the right time, they would be able to shift a moderate court to an extremely conservative court. And I want to say it's almost a nationalist Christian court at this point, because they are spending more time in destroying civil and human rights than any group that I can ever remember. And it breaks my heart to see that so many people are just allowing this to happen. You, Darrell, just mentioned that they're eroding our rights, and they're not going to stop until they get everybody. There was this poem from statement from years ago that said they came for this and nobody. I did.
Right.
They came for that and I did nothing. Now they're coming for me, and geez, there's nobody available to save me. So we need to pay attention, and we need to understand that we're running out of time in terms of making sure that this great experiment doesn't become the Frankenstein's monster that it is becoming.
Right. When I heard this story, I thought, here we are again.
Right.
We're targets. Those of us who affirm that we are part of the queer community, we're targets again. And you're right, they just keep coming and coming and coming for those that they don't want around, those that they don't want holding office or living or whatever. I thank God for Justice Sotomayor.
Yes.
I thank God for her, because truly it's going to be people like her that will save our country. If
it can be saved.
that's what I was going to say. If there's anything worth saving, that's probably who it's going to be, people like her.
And I'm still going to throw in the chopping block. If they're going to do this, they're coming out to Loving v. Virginia next.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So I'm just keep saying this. A certain justice might need to watch out, because you have turned on all these other folks that you have ruled against in the name of your justice. Justice can be served to you, and I want to see what that looks like if Loving v. Virginia comes up. But with this case, it's like, just add one more thing on the pile.
Yeah.
And we are resilient people.
Yes, we are. We are.
We are resilient, and this is all the more reason that we need to remind people for this in the United States. November is coming.
Yes.
November is coming.
Your vote locally or even nationally, they do matter. And that's one of the ways to get your voice out is by voting. Change is on the horizon. It's going to happen one way or the other. We don't know what's going to land, but it's on the horizon. But what we can do is play our part. Even though it may seem very small and very small, I can play my part and make sure I can vote, and I will vote. And I just keep saying this ain't stopping anytime soon. This freight train is speeding, and we got to do our part to slow it down.
Yep.
And stop it.
Isn't there a a politician. He was president at one point, and I think he's running again. And didn't he marry at least one foreign person and have that person bring 3 foreign people? And is the current wife, isn't she a foreigner? And didn't she, after she married him, bring her whole damn family into this country?
Yeah.
That under that certain person,
Under
all that-
what the court is now saying is not protected.
But that's a done deal. Like,
That's
the
something
way
that's settled.
That's the way privilege
works.
I'm good now.
I got
so
mine,
screw
close
them.
the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Another justice says that about a whole lot of things.
Yes.
I'm affirming my action.
yeah.
All right.
There's I mean, we think about justice, but justice is a spiritual value. It's not just it's not some high-minded civic concept. The prophet Amos, his whole thing, he's up taking care of his fields or whatever. He comes walking down and he just tells everyone, y'all are doing all this wrong. You're being mean to people and screw y'all. And he goes away. This crazy Amos, his whole sermon was just justice. Let justice roll like water. And so we need to be upset about this, not only because it's just unfair
Right.
and just because it's cruel, but also at a spiritual level. If our job in spirituality is to bring wholeness and healing, and we do that with joy and love and forgiveness and community, this is a spiritual attack too, because maybe I'm digging a well somewhere in another country to help them, and I fall in love. And well, that's too bad for you. Hope you like the country well enough to stay here, because he or she ain't coming with you.
Yeah.
That's abysmal. And if the creation myth says, we're not meant to be alone, that we need helpers, we need to help each other, that spiritual value is spat upon with this ruling.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together, and we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.